Welcome to my channel SUPERMOM. Whether you're a first time mom to be or are pregnant with your second child or more, those 9 months leading up to birth are an undeniably wondrous and life changing experience, right? So, for today, I'm going to share with you all those apps that I found very useful during my whole pregnancy journey and more so even now, starting from preconception to pregnancy to labor and delivery. Yes, I did use an app during my labor and to after the baby was born and later as well. Apple സ്റ്റോറിൽ നിന്നും ആൻഡ്രോയിഡ് സ്റ്റോറിൽ നിന്നും ഫ്രീ ആയിട്ട് ഡൗൺലോഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നതാണിവ, except for one which I shall mention in a while. To start off, ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ പീരിയഡ്സ് ട്രാക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ ഉപയോഗിച്ചിരുന്നത് പീരിയഡ് കാലണ്ടർ എന്ന ആപ്പാണ്. Before I got pregnant, I used this app. In fact, I've been using it for so long and I highly recommend it, especially, if your periods are irregular and you're trying to conceive and stuff. This app just keep tracks of your periods, if you are late, if you are early, and how heavy your flow was and all those things. Even നമ്മുടെ ഓവുലേഷനും ട്രാക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നത് കൊണ്ട് it tells us the most fertile days. ആപ്പ് സ്റ്റോറിൽ പോയി ഈ കാണുന്ന ഡയറി ഐക്കണാണ് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ ആപ്പ്. ലെറ്റ്സ് ഓപ്പൺ ഇറ്റ്. സോ ദിസ് ഇസ് ഹൗ ഇറ്റ് ലുക്സ്. ആസ് പെർ വാട്ട് ഐവ് എൻറ്റേർഡ്, it says there is 4 days left for my next period and 13 days for my ovulation. ഇതിലെ calendar open ആക്കുമ്പോൾ കണ്ടോ, it shows everything in just a glance. 13th to 16th is when I have my flow, 17th to 23rd is when I enter my fertility window, and 22nd is my ovulation day. പിന്നെ അവിടുന്ന് അങ്ങോട്ട് എല്ലാ മാസങ്ങളിലും it tells us when to expect things. There are also several additional things you could record and keep track on, several self-care items and programs. You can also add your symptoms if you wish to discuss it with your GP. You can add diary entries and many more. So yeah, this is a handy little app which seems really useful to all of us. The next app, which is super useful for pregnant ladies, is the BabyCenter app. Probably നിങ്ങളിൽ പലരും ഇത് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നവരാകുമല്ലേ? Once you sign up, you add your due date and then it gives you all the information relevant to your pregnancy. For example, if you are 10 weeks pregnant, it shows you the baby's development at 10 weeks, like the baby's eyelids cover the eyes and his or her fingerprints are forming, etc. It's very interesting to know what's going on inside your own body. Other thing I like about this app is the birth club. Again, once you sign up, it shows you all the women who has the same due date as yours. This served very much valuable, especially during my second pregnancy. കോവിഡ് കാരണം ഞാൻ വെറും 2 കൺസൾട്ടേഷൻസ് മാത്രമാണ് ചെയ്തത്. മന്ത്ലി ചെക്കപ്സ് ഒന്നും ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. So this club helped me to kind of connect with all the other women who were going through the same symptoms that I was going through, and honestly it was such a peace of mind. ഇപ്പോൾ BP ഡൗൺ ആവുകയോ ഹാർട്ട് ബേണോ മസിൽ ക്രാമ്പോ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടാകുമ്പോൾ I come up here and I see that even other ladies are going through the same things, and I could know what they are doing to make themselves feel a little better. And also, if I had any doubt, I would just make a post on here and lots of people would reach out and help me. So, ആ ഒരു സമയത്ത്, this was my favorite part of this app. I even use it now to track both of my kids, how they are developing, things to expect, what I should be doing during this week, various activities you could introduce, when to visit a doctor, and many more things. All you have to do is to add their date of birth. And interestingly, ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം ഫോൺ മാറ്റിയപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്ന് ഈ ആപ്പ് നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു. But still, I used to get notifications in my mail, which I really appreciate about this. So, I love this app, all in all. I go through it every now and then and find if there's anything helpful. BabyCenterനോട് ഏറെക്കുറെ സിമിലർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള മറ്റൊരു ആപ്പാണ് വാട്ട് ടു എക്സ്പെക്റ്റ്. It also serves the same purpose of letting you know what's going on in the pregnancy and connecting you with other moms, tells you how your body is changing, etc. The only thing is that it provides another set of informations, a set of informations that's not there in the BabyCenter app. So, ഞാൻ എന്താ ചെയ്യാറ് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ I kind of go through both, one after the other, and it makes me feel like I'm back home from my doctor's office. Generally, നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും വേഗം ഗൂഗിളിൽ പോയിട്ടാണല്ലോ സെർച്ച് ചെയ്യാറ്. എന്നാൽ അവിടെ പ്രൊഫഷണൽ സൈഡ് ഓഫ് റിസൾട്ട്സ് അല്ലേ കിട്ടുക. ആൻഡ് ഇൻസ്റ്റഡ് ഹിയർ ഇൻ ദീസ് ആപ്സ് നമ്മളെപ്പോലെ സാധാരണ അമ്മമാരുടെ റിപ്ലൈസ് കിട്ടുമ്പോൾ wouldn't that be a bit more satisfying? Next, I'm going to talk about the app I used during my labor. It's called the Contraction Timer. Similar ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരുപാട് ആപ്സ് ഉണ്ട് കേട്ടോ, both on Android and Apple Store. You might be wondering, will you have enough time or energy to use an app while you're in labor, like when you're in pain? But seriously, this app, I found it really, really useful in both of my deliveries. It basically timed my contractions. So every time I had a contraction, I would press on this button. It's a very simple app. All you have to do is to press this button when you have a contraction. എൻ്റെ കേസിൽ ഞാൻ തന്നെയായിരുന്നു ആപ്പ് യൂസ് ചെയ്തിരുന്നത്. ബട്ട് ഇഫ് യു ഹാവ് ദി ആപ്പ് ഓൺ യുവർ ഹസ്ബൻഡ്സ് ഫോൺ, ഹീ ക്യാൻ ട്രാക്ക് ഇറ്റ് ഡൗൺ ഫോർ യു. So yeah, as soon as my labor started, I wasn't sure if it's actually labor because my pain started early in the morning and it was mild in the beginning. So I started timing my contractions just in case, and then I noticed that they were getting closer and closer. So this app helped me to see the timeline of my contractions, and when it gets close enough, it actually tells you to get in your car and leave to the hospital. It tells you the time to go. So again, for example, I had a contraction, so I press the button and it keeps timing a contraction. Usually a contraction lasts for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. So after your contraction is over, like your pain kinds of subsides, you just press stop contraction. And then say after 10-15 minutes, you had another contraction. All you do is press on the button and see, it tells you the frequency of the contraction. So here it says the time between the two contractions were 31 seconds, and that contraction lasted for 30 seconds, and second contraction lasted for 14 seconds. So this is a very helpful app. I even used it during my active labor, like when we were on the way to the hospital. And as you all know, you will have an antigen test before you're taken into the observation room. So ആ സമയത്തൊക്കെ എനിക്കിങ്ങനെ കാണാമായിരുന്നു how closer my contractions were getting. It was very scary, in fact, because things were very fast this time, and my baby was born by 10:17 a.m. Alhamdulillah, I was so grateful that it ended up very well and very soon. So yeah, I really recommend this one. The next app which I found very useful after my daughter was born was the baby tracker app. I haven't used it with my son, but this time, as things are much more crazy, having 2 kids to handle, you know, sometimes you lose track of things, right? So this app was extremely helpful. A handy little tool that you can have for those initial days after the baby is born. Because let's face it, the first few weeks are the hardest, as the baby needs to be fed constantly, sleeps a lot, and needs to be changed quite frequently. So it's very hard to keep track of all these, and sure enough, each time you go to your doctor, they will ask you how often is he or she being fed, or how often does they poop, or how long does they sleep, all those stuffs. No wonder all that would be so overwhelming for us moms. So I really thank the person behind this app. It keeps track of feedings and sleeps and diaper changes and everything. It's again very simple to use, though it might look a bit complicated here. For example, if you're nursing, press nursing and it would keep a track of how long your baby has nursed. Similarly, if you changed a diaper, press this button and it will keep a record of how many diapers have been changed and if it had been wet or dirty, etc. By the end of the day, you can review what's happened, like how long has your baby been nursing, how many diaper changes had been there, how long has the baby slept, and if you're pumping, you can put in that information as well. So I've enjoyed using this app and I think you moms would as well. Lastly, I would like to talk about the Wonder Weeks app. There's actually a book by the same name, Wonder Weeks, and this is the only app where you'll have to pay in order to use it. It basically tracks all the developmental milestones and the growth spurts that your child is going through. Growth spurt is a time during which a baby has a more intense period of growth, and during this time they might want to nurse more frequently, change sleep patterns, and generally be fussier. Again, I haven't used it with my elder son, but I got this app when my daughter was about 5 weeks old, and like most other infants, she too was going through a pretty big growth spurt, and she would be all cranky and fussy and all. So I didn't know what was going on, and I really wished that I had used it for my son as well, because this app, it tells you what's going on. Like around 6 weeks, the baby goes through his or her first growth spurt and all that signs and symptoms are normal. So that again gives you a little peace of mind to know that, okay, this is normal to happen and there's nothing wrong with my child. And ever since then, I've been using this app non-stop. It gives you a lot of information at that point and time. There's a calendar where it shows when your baby is going to have her next growth spurt or a mental leap. Now, a mental leap is when suddenly a baby's brain can perceive things it wasn't capable of perceiving before. And all these things, it's been pretty much accurate for me, more or less accurate for me. I've seen that a week here and there, she goes through the same things that this app mentions. And like I said, none of us prefer visiting a hospital for each and every symptoms, right? At least not during this COVID time. So this particular app kind of gives you that huge peace of mind. Like, chill out mama, your baby is fine, just relax. So again, I highly recommend this app, especially if you're an anxious or paranoid mom just like me. So yeah, these are the apps that I've used and still been using, and most of it are free except for the Wonder Weeks. Well, I hope you find some of these apps useful for your journey as well. If I had to recommend just one app from all of this, it would be the BabyCenter app. It's my absolute favorite. Definitely get that app. And yeah, don't forget to hit a like and share this video. Also, consider subscribing if you haven't already. See you next time. Until then, love God, love people, make a difference, and be thankful. Bye.